Warning, this podcast, website, and associated social media accounts are intended for audiences of legal drinking age. We do not advocate overconsumption or the abuse of alcohol. Never drink and drive, drink responsibly. And please remember to always take what we say with a grain of salt. After all, we are just some dudes with some brews.
We started out by crawling out from under the thumb of the man. We're lovers of God with dad bods, just trying to feed our fam. Go sit right there and grab a beer, you know just what to do. Throw it back, get hammered, and listen to dudes and brews.
So it has been a while though. So thanks for hitting me back up. I know you've been really busy as of late.
Yeah.
So like we'll get into the whole big Barney thing that I've seen online. But what else have you gotten yourself into? Like what have you been doing since we last spoke?
I've done some online commercial stuff like promos. I'm the official promo and voice for some podcasts.
Oh, cool.
So I do that.
Do you do like voiceovers for like intros and stuff
Yeah,
or whatnot?
their intros and outros and some of their sponsors.
Oh, cool.
So I'll do some of that.
Oh, so you'll do some of the ad reads.
Yeah.
Oh,
ad
nice.
reads.
Yeah. Are your stuff what am I trying to say? Not your skills. Are you available on like Fiverr? Are you familiar with that?
I have a Fiverr.
Yeah.
I haven't had a lot of success with that.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure how popular it was. That's the only way I know.
Most of the stuff that I've been getting work from is all from like just people finding me on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Finding me on TikTok and stuff, and they'll message me like, "Hey, I'm
just
doing
throwing
this,
up a DM,
doing this program or doing this different thing." So, and I've also been working with this guy named Karan Stark, who is has a TV show called Mr. K's Clubhouse.
Okay.
So it's a kids show based out of. He's gonna kill me if I don't remember, but I think it's Nebraska.
Okay. Mr. K's
Omaha.
Clubhouse?
He's out of Omaha.
Okay.
Mr. K's Clubhouse. Yeah. Mr. Mister and then K, just the letter K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll come up the other way. That's what Yep, that's it.
Oh, cool.
So I've been doing some voices for that. So that's been fun. He has a podcast that he does, and he's written some audiobooks for books for kids, and then he's doing the audiobooks, and I'm playing characters for that.
Yeah.
So it's been fun. He actually was one of the people that came down from Nebraska to Texas and went to that Barney reunion dinner with me.
Oh, I saw
and
that
so
online.
Then we went the next day. We were like, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing tomorrow? And he's like, nothing, man. We're not doing anything. We're just kind of hanging out in Dallas. And I was like, we should go to all these places around Dallas and Allen and everywhere where they filmed Barney back in the day, because he's a big
cool.
Barney fan. That's why he came.
Oh,
so,
I gotcha.
And so we were like, I was like, we should do that. And he's like, yeah. So him, his wife, and my wife and I, we all went and went to like the Majestic Theater in Dallas, because that's where the first Barney live concert was.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, and just places like that, like
that's awesome.
Where they filmed the actual building color dynamics, where they filmed the first like 4 or 5 seasons. Which is pretty cool.
Oh, that's cool.
And what's crazy too is I haven't posted this picture, but there's a right beside where they filmed Barney. It was actually the same production company was making the show Wishbone.
Oh yeah,
back in the
I
day
remember
about
that,
the dog
with the little dog and the mysteries.
Yeah, and so when we were there, that building has been torn down now, but the little street that what used to be there to connect the two is still there, and on the concrete is like carved in the concrete is Wishbone.
Oh,
and it has
cool.
a bone and everything. And it's
yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
so,
that's cool.
Yeah, Wishbone was a pretty good show.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, let's crack this beer real quick. So we're drinking a Harp Lager today from Guinness Brewing. I want to say it's Guinness Brewing. It's the same company that does Guinness. I think Guinness is the brewery.
What's it say on here? Let's see if we can find it.
Out of Ireland. I don't know. Has the same Harp logo that a Guinness does. I want to say Guinness is the brewery.
Probably so.
I think these are the 2 beers they do that are big, and then they have a few in, because they have a.
So is the secret to tip it?
That's what I do when I pour it. That's because I don't want too much head, but that's up to you.
Okay.
You know, I saw this video. I saw this video online recently, and you know what? I'm gonna show this to you because you brought it up, and you tell me if you think this is hogwash or if it's real. gonna see if I can find it real
Yeah,
quick.
that was a lot better. Because I remember last time I was here, I had so much fizz, I couldn't even
Oh,
drink it
yeah,
for several
nah.
minutes. I was like, what the heck?
It's fine. I'm gonna see if I can find, because what it was is this guy poured it slow like we just did, and then he did another one where he poured it real fast and it foamed up real bad.
Oh, that's good.
And then he got like a paper towel and he's like, look at all the air that's still in this beer, and he's like, look at all the air that's out of this one. He goes, that's why you're bloated, because you pour them too slow. And I'm like, I mean, I don't want the beer to be flat, so I usually
Yeah,
pour it
that's
slow.
true. Yeah, it's really good though.
But I was going to ask you, so the that reunion show, was it just something that you were invited to,
Yeah, so
or can like anybody just show up as like almost like a Comic-Con for Barney?
well, so no, it was actually just at a restaurant. So I mean, there were other people there that were just eating, you know, just having dinner. But it was
okay.
like they reserved a big section. So a guy named Joseph Hernandez, who is who worked on Barney in the marketing and department, he invited me. He was a super nice guy, and he started messaging me. I've been selling autographs because people were asking for them, so I was selling them for like $10-15, something like that, depending
cool.
on where I'm shipping it.
Yeah.
You know, because I had a lot of people after the Barney thing came out that were like, "Hey, we'd like an autograph," and I was like, well, "I've never even thought about doing something like
Right.
that." So I was like, "Yeah, that sounds great. Let me see what I can figure out." And then
So is that something that you like practiced?
I mean, I've always like signed an autograph trying to look nice.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, yeah. So it was crazy because I never thought that would be something. I mean, I guess I should have at some point if something happened like this. I would. A lot of people do that. So, but I never thought about it. So I thought
And
it
it's
was
different than your signature, so it's not like it's not your full name, is it?
Oh yeah.
Most of the
yeah,
time
I
they
signed my whole
just-
thing. I saw.
Oh,
myself.
you do?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted
a lot
to
of
look.
guys will just like shorten it
Yeah,
down.
it's just
so
like a
it's quick.
scribble, and it
Yeah.
looks awful.
Yeah.
No, but so yeah, I had a lot of people sending me that. So then, what's also crazy is the original voice of Barney, Bob West. I've been in contact with him back and forth, so he's been really, really, really nice and supportive. He actually invited me to a Comic-Con that he's going to be at in San Antonio in May.
Oh, cool.
So he was like, he gave me his cell phone number, and he's like, "Hey, here's my number. Call me when you get there, and you can come back and hang out with me back in the back area, and I'll introduce you to people," because it's like primarily voice actors that are going to be there.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's going to be pretty cool. Like the guy that plays Courage the Cowardly Dog is going to be there.
Nice.
There's a handful of others. I can't remember all of them, but I know some of the Ninja Turtles I think are going to be there.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool.
Nice.
The 80s ones.
Oh, so the old ones.
Yeah,
I'm like,
the
they're,
old school.
They're totally different now.
Old school, yeah.
Which I liked the newest movie. I enjoyed it, but
Oh, yeah, it's
voices are like completely different.
Yeah, it's good though. I liked the new one. My daughter loved it. But yeah, it was
Even that show that they did on Nickelodeon was done well.
Yeah.
That cartoon.
Yeah, it was good. But yeah, that dinner, I mean the reunion dinner, they've been apparently so whenever something I could say, so they were with Lyric Studio, which was one of the first few that owned Barney back in the 90s, and then they when it was sold to Hit Entertainment, I believe, they all got laid off. These people that were working for Barney in the marketing, so anything that had to do with
And this is about the time that the show was like ending.
well, actually, it was more like halfway through. Like
Oh,
they
okay.
sold it, and then it went another like 8 to 10 years. So they were all working on like the marketing stuff. So anything where they were like drawing anything in a book that was Barney related, anything that was like in the magazines, photography for anything like that, any promotional stuff. So they were all heavily involved with that and did that stuff. So he invited me to this dinner and was like, "We'd like to have you come and be the guest of honor." And I was like, "What? That sounds cool."
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like super awesome. Like they've been doing these dinners since they got laid off. Every year they do one. And so he was like, "Man, this is the greatest turnout we've had in several years." So he's like, everybody was excited to come see you. And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
Yeah.
But it was cool because like everybody there was so nice, and I get there and I'm not expecting this. There's a huge Barney cardboard cutout from the 90s that I was
cool.
like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And there was a giant Barney doll. Like it was like huge. Like it was almost like at least half of life size. Almost.
Yeah.
And they had it sitting at the table.
Okay.
it was funny. And then but every single one of them almost, or at least a handful of them, had worked on different books and different programs, different magazines. And so they all brought like 2 or 3 of things that they worked on and gave them to me.
Oh, nice.
Which was so cool because it was like, I mean, there was some stuff in there that was just really neat.
Items, yeah.
Like they had like the first 2 Barney magazines that they had that were still sealed, and I was like, I was like, man, this is probably valuable. Yeah. But I'll never do any. I'll always keep it because it's so cool, you know. But it was just stuff. Yeah, they were really nice. They were so nice. It was a really cool dinner. Me and my wife went, and yeah, it was just really cool.
So how did she feel about your newfound fame, if you want to call it that?
It's funny because we went there and she kind of looked at me and she goes, it's like you're a celebrity.
You're right.
And I was like, I know, and it's weird, so I'm not used to it. And so we get there, and it's like I saw this Barney cutout, and I was like, I got to get a picture with this. It'll be kind of cool. It'll look good on my Instagram or something. And I was like, that'll be neat. And then like I get up there to take a picture, you know, just me and this cutout, and then I end up standing there for 10 or 15 minutes taking a picture with everyone else, or at least a handful of other people. Then there was a kid named Ryan that was there, and he was like, he comes walking up to me and he's like kind of shy, and he's like, can you do the Barney voice? And I was like, why, I sure can. And then he was like, oh, that's so cool. And then he walks back over and tells his mom. And then he comes back like 5-10 minutes later, and he's like, can I video you doing the Barney voice?
Yeah.
And I was like, sure. And I did that. And then he comes back a minute, can we get a picture together? And I was like, yes, let's go. So we got the picture. It was cool.
So I will say this, that you are the perfect person to do this, because I'm going to tell you this right now, I'd have been annoyed.
No, it's fun.
My patience would have run dry doing the same thing over and over again. So you were the perfect person to be chosen for this. But speaking of, like, how did you even land this role? Like, you've done the voice.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard it online and in person multiple times. Like, did you submit some sort of video or something, or like what happened?
No, I didn't audition or anything. I don't think they had auditions. So what it was is Mattel saw some stuff that I had online for a while. A couple of years ago, I was hired by a company out of Canada named Stupendous Tributes, which was like a Barney tribute show. They had a guy named Jackson that did costumed performances as Barney. And he hired me to do, he had a script. It's like a 30-minute show, so basically almost the same length as what a Barney Live official one would have been. Yeah. And it was really similar to that kind of stuff. And he was like, hey, I'd love to hire you to do all the voicing in between. And then we used the songs from the original recordings.
And he just found you on Instagram?
Yeah, he found me on Instagram because I've as soon as I started doing all this,
just the hashtag Barney finds everybody.
That found all of the community, and they were like, embraced it and like, oh my gosh, he sounds just like Bob West, the original, and, and then Bob reached out to me because of that, and but it's been really cool because they Mattel though they just saw those videos because it's like full length like shows. So they knew I could carry the voice through the whole thing. Right. And, but yeah, I just got an email and it was like, I would like to talk to you about some collaborations that we might could do together. Can you please sign this NDA?
Oh, my skeptical hippo eyes are showing and I'm like, is this real or what's going on here?
So I'm looking at it, I'm like, an NDA? Like, what the heck? So my uncle's, Kent is an attorney. And so I called him and I was like, hey, I got this email. I need you to look at it. And tell me if it's legitimate. And I sent it to him, and a few minutes later, he's like, yeah, this is a standard NDA from Mattel. He's like, you need to go ahead and sign it. This could be something cool.
So the thing is, you said his name's Bob West?
Yeah, the original voice of Barney was Bob West.
Does he do other stuff?
Yeah, he was...
Maybe there's a different West.
Yeah, he was also the voice of some characters at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, okay. Is there another guy with the last name West that does stuff?
Adam West.
That's like Batman.
Batman, yeah.
I don't know what I'm thinking then. Maybe a Bob something else. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah.
But since Bob is still around, why did they go with somebody new versus just using the old guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I'm not complaining by any means.
Yeah, no,
I'm really happy.
I really don't know. I think he does a lot of. He's had two careers. Parallel is what he told me.
Oh, okay.
He's done voice acting, and he's also the whole time he's been doing graphic design, and
I got you.
He loves that, and he loves both. But I don't know. I really don't know the details. I don't know if he was approached at all. I have no clue. I really don't know. I just know that when they told me, they were like, because they're doing two things. There's a new animated series that's coming out, which is Canadian production. I don't have anything to do with that. It's more of like a from what I've seen, it's Cocoa Melon style.
Okay,
but I don't know that.
You keep mentioning the original Barney.
Yeah, so I'm voicing the classic Barney in the costume.
You're right.
So that is what I'm doing. So anything that's that going forward, I'm basically the voice for that.
Okay.
Anything that has to do with
like
that,
toys and stuff.
Yeah, there could be that. I have no idea.
Right.
But.
No idea.
I really don't. I really don't. Yeah, no, I really don't know. That it's kind of like I'm just waiting to see whatever they approach me with.
You'll get secrets eventually, but no, it is what it is.
But yeah, so the new show is a totally, from what and I don't know a lot about it. I don't really know any inside information. It's like just what I've seen online. It's like an animated show that's going to be, from what people are speculating, it's going to be like Barney as a kid, but I don't know that that's what it is. That's not officially what they've said. And it's a redesigned look, and I don't think it's going to have anything to do so much with the nostalgic version of Barney. I think it's just kind of a reboot.
Right.
But then alongside that, they've wanted to kind of pull on that nostalgia of kids that were my age that grew up with Barney, that are now adults that have children, and they could show it to their kids, and so they're doing both. And I think it was kind of
hilarious.
I think it kind of went out of I don't know if you saw the video of Steve from Blue's Clues a couple of years ago, where he was like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Remember that. Yeah, and he talked to the kids as
just
if they
like
were
he
adults.
did, just like he did in the show, but as adults.
Yeah,
and I think that they were trying to do something like that.
Oh, okay.
And so they were wanting to do that. So, but I have no idea about Bob. I know he's still very much can do the voice. He's still very nice, very good guy, and he's kind of like they tell you, oh, you may not want to meet your heroes because they may not be who you think they are. No, he is.
Oh, nice.
I mean, he's almost.
That's refreshing.
He's so nice, and he's been so nice to me. Like before this whole thing, I had talked to him about. He just saw my impressions, and he was like, "This is really good," and gave me some tips on here's exactly. He's like, "You're like 90-something% there. Here's what I think."
He's not the guy that does Doug, is he?
No, that's Billy West.
Billy West.
Billy West is what's Billy West.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've had multiple guys reach out to you, or at least say something, give you positive words.
Yeah. But he's been so nice. He's Bob's given me he sent me 4 paragraphs one night like a year or two ago, and he was like, "Here's everything you need to know to start getting into voice acting." And that's been very helpful.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so it's really cool. A lot of stuff. I've gotten to meet some really cool people out of all this. So
right. So it's funny. Like I was talking to my son about this the other day. Like I said, yeah, I'm gonna have that guy that did the voices on because he thought it was so cool when I showed him all the videos and stuff. But I showed him the video that was put out for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if they're going to reboot it. I don't know what he's talking about. And my son goes, the same thing that you just kind of mentioned was, well, Dad, I wonder if they're doing it because a bunch of adults are your age that watched it and now they're trying to get their kids into it.
Yeah.
So it's really funny that he had the same idea.
Yeah.
Like a 10-year-old kid had the same idea.
Yeah, I think our generation and probably even my dad's generation, but maybe not so much.
Right.
We're all very nostalgic for old stuff that we grew up watching.
Oh yeah.
And so I mean I think we're more so more like businesses and these people, the companies that own these properties and different things, they've realized that there's still money to be made.
Right.
We can still make money off of all these things that were 20 years ago because people will still buy it.
Correct.
And so I think that's a lot of the pull for the streaming services. I mean, they have new stuff, obviously, but a lot of it's like people want to go back and binge watch a bunch of old shows.
Right.
So it's pretty neat.
I like the Barney's wholesome.
Yeah.
It's wholesome. It's not like a bunch of stuff that they have nowadays that's not.
Yeah.
I feel like it gets
It
wild
definitely
nowadays.
is, yeah. Yeah, my daughter's all into Paw Patrol. She loves it.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so we've got her playing video games. She's only 3. She's about to be 4 in August, but she's it's just started where she's has an interest in playing video games because she sees us doing it.
Yeah.
So I downloaded some Paw Patrol games for her, and she the first time she played it, she was getting frustrated because she just didn't know what to do.
Right.
And I'm sitting there going, okay, now push the stick this way, and this happened. And then she's like, oh. And then, I'm telling her, and it's also taught her the shapes like X and all that from the PS5 or whatever. So she's like, you can be like, hit the triangle. Oh, okay. And she does it.
Right.
But now she just plays it and goes through whole levels and has no problems, which they're Paw Patrol games. There's no bad.
Sure.
There's no enemies coming trying to hurt you.
I was gonna say.
So there's no dying. You're
Yeah.
just going through the levels, just cruising away.
I'm sure. So I wanted to ask you this. So, like, I know you don't have a whole lot of information about what's going to happen, but, like, if we envision something, like, how do you see Barney staying relevant in today's media landscape? Do you see them going, like, digital? Obviously, they're doing this online show.
Yeah,
which
they're
is
doing
great,
the-
but if they bring, like, and I don't know why. Is it a guy in a costume? Because I was reading somewhere that it's animatronics. I could be wrong.
No, there's always a guy in a costume.
Okay, that
Yeah.
looked real awkward the way his hands moved.
Yeah. So
Maybe it's just the way it's shaped.
it's because it's a dinosaur, so they're having to like the arms are really short.
Yeah.
So it's like they're standing in here like this, and so they really can only move like
Oh,
this.
right. Yeah,
and,
that's
and
true.
that's about it. And what's cool about the suit, and it's kind of strange at the same time, so they never could have had the person doing the voice also in the suit, because one, it'd be like so hot and it'd be miserable to try to first off be able to do all these movements
right.
while you're trying to give a good voice performance. That would just be awful. But secondly, the way
Christina
the mouth.
Aguilera does it when she dances on stage.
Well, I know.
No,
but,
I'm just.
But it's in like this.
I can imagine how hard it is in
150.
there.
I was a mascot in high school for a couple of years, and it was awful.
Okay.
Like it was. I loved it. It was fun, but it was like so hot.
Yeah.
You'd be in it like 15, 20 minutes, and you'd get out of it, and you're literally all your clothes were stuck to you.
Oh no.
Because it was just bad.
Yeah.
But anyway, the way the mouth works in that suit is it sounds archaic, but it's like there's literally a metal bar that connects to the lower jaw with a sponge on it, and that
Okay.
person has to bite down on the sponge and move their head like this.
Okay.
And
nice.
so every time you're seeing Barney talking, there's a dude in the mask doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how horrible that would be?
That sounds bad.
I would never want to do, and then you watch the guys that did it. You know, there was a guy named David Voss that was in there, David Joyner, that they were just all over the place, dancing and moving and spinning all over the place. Like Barney was doing like 360 vertical spins,
Right.
And you're like, first off, that's hard to do just without a suit on. Then you add a 70-pound suit on top of that.
For
'cause
sure.
It's heavy. It's like how they do that. I don't know.
So do you think if they do bring it back, they're gonna bring back some better technology?
Well, I mean, well, I think the future is the animated show.
Oh, is it
So,
animated?
yeah, I
Do
think
you
that's-
it's cheaper to make.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would assume probably, but because I would assume with animation like that, I mean, you're creating the models. I mean, you're having to pay people to animate it, but it's like you're not having to consistently keep up with the costume. You're
Right.
not having to have makeup people. So there's a big part of the production that's not there, but it's still, I'm sure, very involved.
Oh, I'm sure.
But yeah, that's the future, I think, of what they're doing. So, but you know, they're also trying to do this nostalgia thing so I don't know if that's going to
Right.
be parallel alongside it, or if it's going to be up until the point of that.
Right.
We don't know. So we'll see.
And even if it's just for like merchandise,
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
even still, that's still
part of it. Like let's run with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. My uncle was telling me, he goes, just think about this. He's like, even if this is all it is, it's just this one video, and then they never reach back out to you, and they never do anything else with the costume version of Barney, you're still pretty well officially and always will be part of Barney.
Oh, for sure.
Which is weird, because it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I would have never believed that. I mean, when I was here the last time, I would have never thought I'd got
Right.
a role of Barney. Like, that's
Right.
just, it's just so out there that it's like,
Yeah,
it's just weird.
Just wait. You're gonna go to this Comic-Con. People are gonna you're gonna be introduced as the new voice, and then you're gonna be the one that's asked to go to Comic-Con.
I don't know. It would be cool, but I love Comic-Cons. But part of me, like I'd like to be able to do something like that where I get to go as a guest in a way.
Yeah.
But then in another way, it's like I enjoy going to Comic-Cons so much that might ruin it.
Right.
Because then it's like I can't even go around on the floor without people wanting to take a picture.
Bombarding you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's...
No, it's funny. Like I was talking to my brother about this the other day or last week, and we were talking about like being famous and whatnot. And it's like there's certain individuals like Michael Jordan in his heyday, or like Kanye West now. Like there's certain individuals that you can't go out in public because like you're just bombarded by fans.
Yeah, like
It's hard to
Michael
live a
Jackson
normal
back in
life.
the day.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson would and I think Elvis too, they'd have to like rent out an entire mall.
Oh yeah.
And they'd just be like, hey, we're shutting down the mall today.
Right.
And they wouldn't tell anybody why. They'd just say it's just closed today. And that way that Elvis or Michael Jackson, or they would just go in and do their shopping by themselves and then leave, and then they'd open the mall back up.
It sounds
It's
horrific.
like, that's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine going to a mall where it's like, oh, this is the hangout spot, back in the day. But no, nobody's in there because it's you.
Right.
That would just be so weird. But it's like the other way, you'd be mobbed,
Right. So I totally get not wanting to
crazy.
have that Comic-Con mob mentality, but I've never been to a Comic-Con. How are they? It seemed like a bunch of waiting in line, and that doesn't seem fun. But
no, it's not really. It's not a lot of waiting. See, when I think of somewhere where you're like, it's a lot of waiting line, I'm thinking Six Flags.
Yep.
I go to Six Flags. That's like, feels like that was what you're doing most of the day.
100%.
Sweating and standing in
Waiting
line. Which, if you get the Flash Pass, if you want to spend a bunch of money, then it's great, because then you get it's like 3 minutes.
Oh,
and then
really?
You get ready.
Okay.
You just get to walk up to the line.
I never had that luxury.
I never did until I went with my uncle, who's an attorney, and he's like, yeah, we're all gonna go, and he's like, yeah, I got the Flash Pass, and I was like, what? And this was something me and my dad and my family, we would always talk about crap about those people.
Yeah.
So we'd be like, oh, there's the rich people. They're getting to go first.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they've got money.
Kids need to learn how terrible it is. And need to suffer through the lines.
But it makes you appreciate it when you're like, oh man, I used to have to stand in line for an hour and a half. But if I went by myself, I would not be paying for that, because I'm a cheapskate.
Yeah, I feel you.
But no, Comic-Cons are not. I mean, they have these the panels. If you're wanting to get a bunch of autographs, then yes, you'll be standing in line.
Okay.
If you're wanting to go because there's booths, literally the whole floor is booths except a section, and then and it's just people selling collectible pop culture collectibles, Funkos, toys, action figures, comics, movies. There's even a section.
I thought it was just people. I didn't realize that people had
It's 80% of it is every there's people that do comic drawings and art, and they'll do custom art for you. There's I'd say 60% of it is just people selling comic book related or pop culture related products.
Okay.
And then they'll have people or companies like GameStop there. And you're like, what is this doing at a Comic-Con? But it's kind of turned into, it's not really just about comics. It's more so about pop culture in general.
For sure.
So you'll have people showing up dressed in cosplay, different crazy costumes, and some of them are good. There'll be people that show up and they're in a full RoboCop, and it looks literally like the actual thing.
Right.
When I actually took a picture one year with Deadpool, and it was it looked like the real suit.
Oh, for real?
I mean, it was
cool.
legitimately close.
Yeah.
And so, and almost every year there's somebody that has an actual working control with a controller, R2-D2.
Oh, okay.
That rolls around and makes noises and or not talks, but makes all its noises.
Yeah.
And it's so cool.
I was thinking, for when you said controlled, my mind immediately went to BB-8.
Oh yeah,
I've
seen that one too.
Just because it's newer.
Yeah, I've seen that too, and that's cool. Yeah, there's somebody had that. They had BB-8, and I can't remember what else. They have cool. Sometimes they'll have the vehicles from different stuff. So I have the Ghostbusters Ecto car. They have the Batmobile sometimes at one of them, or they'll have. I've seen the Jeep from Jurassic Park. Oh, nice. And stuff. So it's really cool. I mean,
are you into cosplay? Any kind of dress ups? Do you do Halloween or anything?
No, I don't.
I don't even dress up for Halloween.
I mean, I have I think I've dressed up a little bit with my daughter.
Yeah.
But I'm not really into spending, because a lot of the costumes that you go to they're super expensive costumes.
Depends on the costume that you do.
Yeah, it's people spending $1,000 or more.
Oh, no,
$2,000 on some really, really nice high-end costume.
When I was working in the office, it was fun because everybody would dress up for Halloween, and we'd have a costume contest in the office, and so it was always cool to dress up. But I would try to dress up as obscure stuff. Mm-hmm. I did Shaun from Shaun of the Dead one year. So I had the blood all over the outfit. I brought the bat. It wasn't a bat. It's croquet. No, it's not croquet. It's cricket. Cricket bat.
Cricket, yeah.
And then I did Bill Lumbergh from Office Space. The guy with the coffee that said, hey, I'm going to need you to come into work on Sunday. Yeah. I did that, which was really great because I bought the mug and everything. So you walk around with coffee in the morning and say something to people.
That movie's great. And destroying the fax machine or the copy machine or whatever
100%.
it is. I'm
I think that movie's iconic.
Yeah.
But it's not so everybody recognizes me. It's just so like 1 or 2 people recognize me.
Yeah.
Like last year I was Ted Lasso.
Okay.
And I had 2 people recognize me, and guess what? It was worth it.
Yeah.
Because of those two people. So, but man, it sounds like you're having a blast with this, even if it is just for a short period of time. Hopefully, it lasts.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping that they do like a product line and start releasing.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Mattel
Mattel sent me this.
Oh, what up?
So I got this, and I got another shirt from them and a hoodie.
Oh, that's
all
cool.
Barney related stuff that they did like last year, into last year.
Yeah.
And it's like they're like really nice shirts. Like they're thick. Like,
nice.
And they look like 90s stuff. I mean, this looks like a freaking 90s Barney shirt.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they do something where you like press the hand or something. And it does like different voices or stuff.
It's me doing the voice.
That
would be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be neat.
When I hear Mattel, I just hear toys.
Yeah, because they're toys. I mean, that's what they do.
I didn't know that they had bought out the old.
Yeah, they own
the old license.
They own Barney. They own, I think, Bob the Builder, if I'm not mistaken. They also own Thomas the Tank Engine.
I didn't know they got into TV shows.
Oh yeah, they own
That's
Thomas the Tank Engine. They own they own Barbie. So that new Barbie movie was Mattel.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
I guess if they started out doing cartoon, I mean, not cartoons. If they started out doing like toys, and then they venture into TV shows, I guess that makes sense. I just have never thought about it.
And I know a lot of their toy products are in Toy Story. So like I think
so they get a little piece of the pie every time.
Yeah, so like in fact there's even jokes that I've caught since I've watched the original Toy Story with my daughter. Like there's Rex says that he's like, and they're all talking about where they came from, and he's like, and I'm from Mattel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. They do a lot of toys and stuff, so.
So, do you have any upcoming projects that we need to be on the look for?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier the Mr. K's Clubhouse thing. I've been working with him a little bit. There's a thing that I've been doing this the whole time. There's a really small production that's on YouTube that's called the Cassius Files, and it's like an analog horror animated thing.
Oh,
it's
cool.
really weird. It's really odd.
Okay.
So it's different, but I play most of the characters in that.
Is it just audio?
Yeah, it's audio, and then they'll have like still frame pictures maybe to go with it, or a little limited animation.
So is there stuff available through like
it's like YouTube,
iTunes? So they don't do it like they would put on like Apple Podcasts or Spotify?
No, because it's like
you should talk to those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's they do stuff like that, but it's like on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok and stuff.
Oh, okay, cool.
But it's different. But I've played like a lot, like most of the characters. There's me, and then there's a guy named Ryan Boyd. He's done a few characters, and then I've done like a majority of them. It's like a lot of characters. It's just weird. It's a really weird series. So it's like it's almost supposed to be like it's like almost like a kids show at the beginning, and then it's really not.
Okay.
And so it's kind of like the Five Nights at Freddy's, but not exact. It's not really close to that, but that's kind of the closest thing I can think of. But it's different.
Okay.
But
so that's like the real voiced acting thing that you've done, where you're like actually acting as a.
Yeah, some of it's like it's really like a drama, and so it's really it's strange.
Okay.
One of them, the voices, I kind of channeled a Mark Hamill.
Nice.
Kind of thing, like where it's like almost psychotic. Because one of them, I'm like a serial killer. That's one of the characters, and then another character I play.
Oh, when you say Mark Hamill, you mean like the Joker?
The Joker stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I was like, I'm not really doing an impression of that, but it's that style of something.
Right.
So it's just like really like the dude's mentally just off.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just weird.
Everybody has influences. I mean, I hear it in music. Like everybody's got influences, so it's fine.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's awesome.
So you ready to play a couple of games?
Sure.
I'm gonna test some of your knowledge.
Watch, I'll probably fail miserably.
All right. So I'm gonna see how well you know some of the Barney characters.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna go. There's not a lot, and I'm only doing the costume characters, not like the live characters.
Okay.
Because there were some like an old lady that read a book that would come on every now and again, and I'm like, I don't care about her.
That was probably Stella the Storyteller.
Possibly. Oh man, you might be pretty good at this. So we'll start with this first one here. Who is this?
Well, that's Baby Bop.
Okay.
Who was played by Julie Johnson.
We're going to start a little bit
Who
easy.
I know.
Do you know who this is?
That's sad that I don't know the name, but
You don't
yes,
know?
I do. I do know that.
This is...
Yeah, I don't-
You don't know? This is Miss Etiquette.
Okay.
Miss Etta.
So the reason I don't
Kid?
know that
Uh-huh.
is after. So I was born in '93. So by the time it was like '98, '99, I was aged.
Oh, so this came out after that, you think?
Yeah, so I was aged out of it a little bit. As far as you know what I mean, like
Right.
I was watching Batman the animated series and Spider-Man and X-Men
Yeah.
and all these shows that for my age. I wasn't really watching it. So this was like season 4, if I'm not mistaken, or 5.
I love that you know that.
I was watching Backyard Gang, which was the first handful of videos where he's like really dark purple.
Okay.
And then the first 2 or 3 seasons of Barney and Friends. And then after that, I was like, okay, I started watching these other shows, and I was like, as a kid, your interest is going to continually grow.
For sure.
It's going to move up with
For sure. So what about this guy?
Oh, that. Gosh, I should know this. This is going to make everybody not like me on the Barney communities. Riff.
This is Riff. Good job. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you know who
Put me on the
this is?
spot. BJ, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Great.
And then who is this guy?
Scooter, right? Is that his name?
It's Scooter McNutty.
Okay,
Yep.
Scooter.
You may just know his first name. That's okay.
So that was also from the same season. Those 2 characters, then the Miss Etiquette.
Yeah, and I'm sure this
They were
character
from
is
the
just from
same-
the same season. Nope, that's where he showed you that. It's this guy right here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's Booker T. Bookworm. That's all
Booker
right.
T. Yeah, okay.
I wasn't sure if you're going to get some of those more obscure ones.
Yeah, I
That's all right.
watched. I've watched some of those since I've had my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
So she's seen some of those. But I didn't watch them after that point, and
That's
I never
all right.
have went back and watched it. So
I don't
and
expect you to
what's
know
funny-
everything.
What's
I mean, you
funny
did
is
well.
the people in the Barney community online that message me. They'll be asking me questions about some of the stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, not sure.
That's
And
funny. You're like, dude, I just started. I'm just now into this stuff.
no, I mean, I was into it as
No,
a
as
kid.
far as
I
like
loved
being
it.
a part of the family now. Like,
Yeah.
haven't got all the
So,
inside scoop on that stuff
If
yet.
it's like first 2 or 3 seasons of Barney, I know a lot of that stuff because that's what I watched when I was a
Right.
kid. But after that, I don't know a lot about it. So like when I was going with Karan Stark, the guy that's Mr. K's Clubhouse.
Oh, yeah.
When he was down here and we were going and looking at all these places, one of them was a playground, and he was like, "Yeah, this is a playground that they filmed what they called season 14, but it wasn't a full season. It was more like a music video thing."
Oh, okay.
The intro to it was filmed on this playground that's in Allen, I believe is where it's at, or something like that. And we went there, and he showed because he's like, yeah, there's a playground scene in the intro, and I was like, yeah, dude, I don't remember that. And
Yeah.
he's like, no, it's at the very end of the series. You probably didn't watch it. And I was like, no, I didn't. So then he showed it to me, and I was like, that's cool. And then we go there, and it's like, looks exactly the same. Like
Oh,
it
that's
hasn't
cool.
aged at all.
Yeah.
And so
That,
it was
that
cool.
kind of stuff's cool.
So my daughter got to go play on the playground the whole day. And it was cool because she watches this guy, Karan's kids show, Mr. K's Clubhouse.
Yeah.
So she's watched that show. So she knows who he is. She knows. So it was like she was meeting somebody that was a celebrity
Right.
when we hung out with him that whole day because she was with us.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole day it was like, hi, Mr. K. Can you come play with me, Mr. K?
Yeah.
I want Mr. K to get me out of the car seat.
Yeah.
I want Mr. K to walk with me. I want to hold his hand.
Yeah.
And so it was so cool because he has kids and he works with kids all day long.
Right.
So he was great. I mean, he's such a nice guy.
That's
And
awesome.
I kept having to say, man, I'm sorry that she's like all over you and everything. He's like, no, it's cool. This is great.
Yeah.
And he was playing with her at the playground. I'd be like, she'd be trying to climb up a ladder, and I'd go like, here, I'll help you. No, Daddy, I want Mr. K to help me. And I'd just like, okay, go
It's a
ahead.
little bittersweet.
And he'd
I
be
get
like,
it.
it's all right, man, I got you. He was
That's
the coolest.
funny. That reminds me of like when I went to New York and there were certain spots that I wanted to check out because I'd seen them in film.
Yeah.
It's very similar as far as he's like, hey, you need to come check this out. There's this one little scene, and I did that with like the MetLife building that King Kong destroys.
Yeah.
So I did that, or no, Godzilla destroys it, and then I did a spot like at the end of season 1 of a TV show called Heroes.
Yeah.
Just because I enjoyed it was about that time that show was popular when we went. So there was a couple of spots that I was like, the one thing I didn't do, which I'm upset about, that I would totally do if I were to go back, is I would go to Norm's Diner, which is the diner that they based off of, or it's the diner that is in
Is it Seinfeld? That's what I was thinking.
It just doesn't say Norm's on it. It just says restaurant instead. But Norm's
I
Diner
love that
is the
show.
one. Yeah, it's one of my favorite TV shows.
I've been watching like kind of for a while, and then I kind of switched. I was trying to binge watch that, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
My wife does not like it. She is a
most
weirdo. Yeah, she's a weirdo is what I tell her, because I'm like, my dad's like, oh, that's like one of the funniest shows from the 90s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, it's hilarious. And my wife's like, this is so dumb. And then she just doesn't get the humor.
Right.
And then I'll see her every now and then after she's telling me, oh, this is so dumb. And then she's laughing, and I'll catch her laughing. I'm like, hey, it's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then she'll be like, yeah, that was kind of funny.
Yeah. Like my kids have seen it, like, because it's on. Like my kids are a little bit older. So like my daughter says it's so stupid too. And then I'll catch her doing certain things, like she'll eat some pretzels and she'll just go, oh, these pretzels are making me thirsty. And I'm like, yeah. Or like she'll see someone double dip, and then she'll complain about like
why are you double dipping?
Putting the whole, it's like putting the whole thing in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, so I go, oh yeah, you must hate this show, but you know enough.
Yeah,
like,
you know enough
on,
that you know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're gonna go into
what are you doing? Why are you doing this? We can't do that. It's all that stuff.
Hey, that's actually not too bad.
Yeah, it's not awful. It's not great. It's I haven't done that. I haven't perfected that one.
I was gonna say your other ones are a little bit better, but
yeah, no, it's just a generic.
Yeah, it's generic. It's
that
fine.
Voice. But yeah, I was binge watching that for a while, and then now here recently over the last 3-4 months I've been binge watching Next Generation of Star Trek.
Oh, really?
Star Trek with Picard
yeah.
And oh my lord, that's so good.
Really?
It is so good, dude.
Oh, I
always watched the original one with Shatner and Nimoy. And I was watching that, and I always was like, "There's nobody better than that. Shatner's the best."
There are next gen guys.
The Next Generation, yeah. There's the Next Generation. I start watching that because my uncle was like, I got him to watch the original series, and he loved it so much that he was like, "I'm gonna watch these other ones."
Yeah.
And then he started watching. He's like, "Korey, you've got to check out the Next Generation. You'll love it. It's actually better." And I was like, there's no way it's better. And I started watching it, and I get to like the 3rd or 4th season, and it starts hitting like the first 2 seasons are, I would say, very good, but on par with the original.
Oh, okay.
And then you get to the 3rd or 4th season, and it's like they got new writers, and it just went up from there. And it's like every episode, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 a season, are like extremely good.
That's awesome.
And it just stays that way all the way through this all the way through season 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, this is good.
Dude, that is awesome.
So if you haven't seen any of those, watch them. They're good.
I'll have to check it out. I don't mind some sci-fi stuff. I don't know if it was Next Generation. There's a guy has like this weird forehead. Is he in that one?
Yeah,
okay.
It's Worf.
It turned me off to like wanting to watch the show, so I never checked it out.
And what's crazy is some of the characters like Worf, at the beginning when I'm watching the first season or 2, I'm like, I really don't care for this character that much.
Right.
Then you get like 3-4 seasons in, and you're like, I really like this character. And you start to like, they take the first couple seasons, I feel like some of the characters that were like secondary characters were like not really well written. And then you get into the 3rd season, they got these new writers, and they start kind of giving some of these characters full episodes where they're the primary character in it. And it's like, wow, it really fleshes them out. I mean, it's just, it's so good. And Data in it, which is the one that has the really pale skin.
Okay,
he's an android in it, and so he's similar in a way to the Spock character in the original. Yeah. But he's an android, and he's like he doesn't have any emotions, so he doesn't have any feelings. He doesn't understand humor.
Okay.
And so it's just, there's so many funny situations that come from that, but he's such a good character.
This is hilarious.
And Riker.
We watched the TV show the Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah.
And there's an episode where they dress up as characters to go to a Comic-Con. Mm-hmm. And it's funny that Sheldon dresses up as, what would you call him, Beta?
Oh, Data.
Because
he's very similar.
Yes.
He's very similar.
Now I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
He's very similar. And then also Will Wheaton. So in Big Bang Theory,
but he was like a kid in the show, right?
Yeah, in this show, he's a kid in it, and he's great. And yeah, it's funny because he's in the Big Bang Theory, and Sheldon can't stand him.
Right.
So
Right.
it's funny. One of the people that was in. Have you seen the one Big Bang Theory episode with Adam West in it? It's towards the end. It's like Sheldon's birthday party, and they invite Adam West. That was Batman.
Oh yeah.
And it's funny. He's just sitting over on there, over at the couch in Sheldon's spot, and Sheldon sees him, and he's like,
remember this.
and he like does this, and then he goes.
Yeah.
He just lets him sit there. He doesn't even care. And he just sits over there, and at some point, and he's like, "Who's gonna pay me?"
Yeah,
he's
right?
like getting paid to be there. This is funny.
So I got another one here for you. I'm gonna show you some cartoon houses, and I'm gonna see if you can name this cartoon based on the house. Okay.
Okay.
This is gonna sound real dumb. We're gonna start off easy. Okay.
Okay.
What is this?
Well, it's Family Guy.
Family Guy.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of these are gonna be easy, but some of these may not be.
That's The Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
I've been watching that too. I started it the very first season.
See, I haven't seen it in so many years. I used to watch it when I was younger.
I can see why the first 2 or 3 seasons. I can see why people really liked it.
Yeah.
It is really well done.
What about this?
Oh, that's Hey Arnold.
Hey
That
Arnold.
was like my favorite show. I love that
Okay.
show. Stoop Kid. Remember that?
I do, and we may get into something.
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. So these are pretty easy so far. Let's do this one.
Oh, that's Cat Dog.
Cat Dog. Okay,
I love
so
that
you're
show,
doing
too.
really well.
I know that show.
Hey, what about this one?
Oh man,
Oh man, did I finally stump him?
is it Rocco's Modern World or is it something
It's
like
not.
that? I have no idea.
This is the Angry Beavers.
Okay,
It's a
well,
dam.
now that I see that, that makes sense.
Okay.
I watched that show, but I didn't watch a lot of it.
Oh, okay. That was one that I watched pretty decently.
That's Rugrats.
Oh, you can't
I
hardly
know that one.
see this.
That's
yeah.
the Rugrats. I watched the
Rugrats.
I actually bought that whole series on DVD like a couple weeks ago.
Didn't they revamp it
I have
with
no
like
idea.
new animation or something?
Probably.
I
But
thought
don't
they
know.
did.
I just bought the whole original series.
What is this? No, this is The Backyard. I don't know if you watched the
feel
show.
like-
This is a little newer.
For a second, I was thinking King of the Hill, and I'm like, no, that's not King of the Hill. Right?
It's not. It's
Yeah.
not.
So yeah, I'm not sure.
This is Phineas and Ferb's Backyard.
Oh Lord, I should have known that. I watched that when I was a teenager.
Dude, I watched that.
I loved that show.
Like I was married while watching that show.
Hey Ferb, I know what we're gonna do today.
Hey, that's good. Oh, because you do the who's the singer for Bowling for Soup? You do his voice,
Jarrett, yeah.
right? Yeah. Because I've seen you do the song.
That's Courage.
This is Courage the
Courage
Cowardly
the
Dog.
Cowardly Dog.
I think I have one more here.
That's King of the Hill.
This one's King of the Hill.
It looks kind of, it's like the Yellow House and all that. So I was kind of like, okay, it is somewhat similar, but that was like the art style doesn't look right. So
Right. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, it doesn't.
So
It looks too
you
new.
did really, really well. I think you did better than you expected to do.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
You were like, oh, houses? How am I going to do
I
this?
guess the only one I didn't really get was the Phineas and Ferb, and then the Angry Beavers.
Yeah, the Angry Beavers, which that's a little odd. I mean, when you hear it, you go, oh, duh, it's a dam.
I saw in there you had Wild Thornberries thing. I was thinking, oh, is he going to show me the RV?
Oh, no.
Because they have the RV thing that they drive around in.
So
That's their
this,
house.
what I wanted to talk about was I saw these things online for some fan theories about certain Nickelodeon cartoons. And there's a couple of fan theories that I wanted to tell you about and wanted to just get your reaction on and talk about it for a minute. So these are all pretty dark, but some of them I thought were dumb, so we're not going to talk about all of them. But one of them is the Rugrats. Which is this one right here. What it is the theory is that the babies are a figment of Angelica's imagination.
That's
and what
weird.
it is perhaps one of the darkest theories of all comes from Rugrats, which speculates that all the other babies are a figment of Angela's imagination. The original, let me see. Angela's fabricated toddlers she would often torment throughout the series run. It says Chucky died along with his mother. This is why his father is always so nervous. Tommy was a stillborn baby, and his father Stu invents toys for the son he never had. And the twins, Phil and Lil, were aborted. So it's never
This is
revealed
like the most
if they
depressing
were a boy
cartoon
or
I've
a
ever
girl.
heard of.
So it was never revealed if they were a boy or a girl.
That's awful. That's awful. That's like depressing. Like all the babies died.
It makes it real sad,
Oh
doesn't it?
man, that's terrible.
And I remember the show being lighthearted, but I haven't
I
seen it
love
in
that
so
show.
many years, I don't remember.
It still holds up.
It does?
Yeah, it's pretty
You
funny.
just gotta get past like
You
the
actually-
animation, right?
Well, no, actually, I like the animation style. I think it's different than a lot of the
Oh,
others.
okay.
But the thing that is funny is there's so much funny stuff that I did not pick up as a kid
Okay.
that now I see it and I'm just like, it's hilarious.
Is it because it was like adult innuendos? Or?
Yeah,
okay.
There's constantly little stuff like that, like their doctor that they're always professing that we've got to call and it's Dr. Lipschitz.
Okay. Okay.
Which, and the just some of the stuff that how they say things because they're babies, mispronouncing words, mispronouncing like Chucky and one of them. He's narrating over because it's like they get lost in the backyard during a snow day or something.
Okay.
And it's like they're trying to figure out how to get back home, but really they're just in the backyard. But you know,
Right.
it's their imagination. But he's like saying Decembuary.
Okay.
And so he's at like December and February together.
Right.
And it's just a lot of crazy stuff that they say, and you're just like, I didn't remember this as a kid. I never would have picked up on it because I was little.
Right.
But yeah, now it's like hilarious.
Okay. I may have to go back and
It still holds
watch
up. It's pretty funny. Some of the stuff that the dad, that Stu comes up with is just nuts. The toys and stuff, that inventions.
So, I mean, that's one that I'll have to go back and watch.
And you almost kind of relate, if you're with being a father, you really relate with the parents when you're watching it.
Okay.
They don't make the parents overly stupid like they do on a lot of kids shows now.
Yeah.
So they're silly like all of the characters are, but they're not stupid.
Okay.
So it's a good show.
Yeah.
I like SpongeBob too.
So
I like that show.
SpongeBob, this one is, the theory is that all the characters are addicted to drugs.
I mean, I can almost see them being like on acid or something. Some of the like that episode where he's got the it's a creepy episode. The one where it's like the imaginary friend or whatever of SpongeBob, where it's like that. You think it's an imaginary friend, but it's actually like a something he ate that's bad.
Oh, really?
And it like makes it like it's like this. He's the only one that can see this character.
I don't remember. I didn't watch it that often.
That thing, Cuddle E Hugs. That is
Okay.
the creepiest episode you'll ever watch of SpongeBob.
Okay.
I think it is so weird.
Well, this says that, and according to this, whatever website I'm on, they say that this one seems the most plausible, and it has to do with their varied behaviors of the characters. It implies that it is not possible that it is possible that recreational substances were done off screen. So the theory states that SpongeBob's frantic energy comes from speed. Patrick's lazy and drowsy nature are the effects of marijuana. Squidward's low mood and apathy comes from a heroin habit.
Oh no.
And to tie everything together, it is also said that Krusty Krab owner Mr. Krabs is the kingpin drug leader behind all the supplies.
Money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
Which
my Lord.
I have heard of. Even there's a really dark like comic book, like online comic book that they've done for SpongeBob that's talks about Mr. Krabs being like a cannibal, and the reason why like the Krabby Shack it looks like a crab trap, the way it's shaped.
Oh, that's kind of true.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah.
like it's real dark. It's dark enough that my kids were like, "Yeah, Dad, you need to stop."
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's wild. But last one that I wanted to touch base on happened to be the wild thornberries.
I love the wild thornberries.
So this basically says that Eliza, the girl that talks to animals, can't talk to animals. She's schizophrenic.
I guess I could see that.
That's
Kind of ruins the whole premise of the show.
explains her abilities and spectacles that Eliza has schizophrenia and depression, and for this reason is unable to lead a normal life within everyday society. her family's aware of her condition, and rather than speak to her out of her hallucinations, they go along with it and allow her to believe her delusions are real.
I mean, I could see that.
I don't think it ruins the show or turns it around. It just goes, cool,
No.
this is the reason why she can talk to animals.
Yeah.
Not because she has some sort of special ability that others don't. It's all like, it would be a really good movie
Yeah. I think it
where
would
like
be.
the end you find out that it's schizophrenia and like something bad happens.
Yeah, that would be kind of different. I do think that it kind of made... If you watch that show, the parents are very disconnected from the kids.
Oh.
Their only focus is that show that they're doing.
Yes.
And nothing else. And so they're just off the whole time running around. So the kids are just by themselves.
Right.
And they're really not very good parents. but in the same thing, I mean, they're both the kids are teenagers. Obviously, they're old
Right.
enough that they can take care of themselves to an extent.
Yeah,
so.
they're a little bit older.
But
yeah.
I liked that show when I was a kid. You know that it's almost impossible to find the pilot of that show.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I have the whole series actually on DVD,
Okay.
and it does not include that episode because I think it may be considered lost film,
Oh, really?
or at the very
Like-
least, it's like never been released in any
Who
way.
does Nickelodeon? Who owns that? Is it Paramount that owns that?
Yeah,
So you can't find that on like Paramount Plus.
I think Wild Thornberrys maybe is on there, but the pilot episode, the very first episode, that I think it's the one that there's two episodes. I think there is another episode that like goes into how she got her powers, but the pilot episode, I've never seen it in full that I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's considered lost
media. Huh. Oh, you might be able to find it here. It's only 11 minutes, which I mean, based on like
That might be the whole, but I think it was a whole 30-minute, 25-minute, or 22,
like 22 minutes.
22
yeah.
minutes or something. So
That's standard for like sitcoms are 22 minutes.
I'm gonna
I
have to
would
check
think it's
that
very
out
similar.
because I haven't seen it.
Just Google
if
it and
that's
see.
part of it, I might have to find it.
Yeah.
Because it was
Yeah, it's funny that they call it lost media here too.
yeah,
so.
it's like kind of because I remember when I watched, I feel like I've seen it,
yeah.
but one time, and it was like when it first aired.
Yeah.
Because that couple of years, there was a couple of summers where Nickelodeon. I remember the first time SpongeBob came out in like 99 or something like that. And because I was literally that summer, because of SpongeBob and all the Nicktoons that were on, that was when I first started. I had, up to that point as a kid, I was like outside playing all the time. And then I was like, that summer, I was literally on the couch the whole summer, and I gained weight. And
Really?
That's when I got fat.
Oh, get out of here.
I'm serious.
So like
Nickelodeon's
this
fault.
makes me think of like when I was in like second grade. I remember I was living in McKinney. Is the only reason why I know how old I was. We would get out of school, and like 3:15 or whatever. And at the time, I lived in an apartment building, and after school I would stay with a neighbor, and until my parents got off of work. So they'd pick us up. We'd come home, and we would both run into the living room, sit down, and turn on the TV because at 3:30, Pokemon came on.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So we would sit and watch
Pokemon
it
was
like
great.
2 feet away from the TV. Is there any show like that you were like, I can't wait to get home because this show comes on every day when I get home? Or even on Saturday mornings or the weekends? Or...
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Fox Kids. So there was like
What was on
Spider-Man
Fox Kids?
animated series, X-Men. I can't even remember. There was a lot. I remember though the one that really it was always disappointing because it came on at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I was
Okay.
over at my grandma's house. We would go with my grandmother. She worked at the school, and so we would ride to school with her. But she had to be there by 7:30, and Magic School Bus came on at
Oh.
7 in the morning. And I loved that show.
You get to watch it while you're getting ready for school?
So,
Yeah,
but it would make me mad because she'd have to be there at 7:30, and it didn't end till 7:30.
Right.
So I would always get to see the first 15 to 20 minutes of it, and then the last 10 minutes of it where they were figuring out how they get out of some situation or whatever. I'd always have to leave,
Oh, no.
and so I would try to like buy blank videotapes and VCR tapes, and I would like take them and like record it and everything. And I remember I got in trouble because there was one time that I ran out of videotapes and I really wanted to see the rest of that episode, and so I just grabbed a random tape from the house at my grandma's house, and it
Yeah.
was something that they didn't want me to erase.
Right.
I don't even remember what it was, but I was really up. They were upset.
Taped over something.
They were not happy with me
Yeah.
for a couple of days.
Oh no.
So, but yeah, I now I have the whole series on DVD. That's the funny thing is like back then it was like, oh my god, it's on right now, and if we don't record it on video, we'll never see it.
Right.
And now it's like you can stream most of it. I have most of it on DVD. I could literally watch any episode that I wanted to at any time, and then I don't get to
Right.
because I don't have time.
You don't have time. Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, I get that. So, you have kids. Do you show them some of the old stuff that,
Oh yeah,
like, as far as movies go? Like,
Yeah.
what is one of your favorite animated films of all time?
one of my favorite. Okay, well that's
Not
a
films,
really
not
that's a
TV
really
shows.
hard question. But I know one of the ones that I really enjoyed showing my daughter was Land Before Time. The
Oh,
first
okay.
one. The
Okay.
first one was made by
I haven't seen that in so many
Spielberg and George Lucas
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
And it was so well made. And the animation is awesome in it. And then it like after maybe the first 2 or 3, it turned into like all of it was singing.
Right. Okay.
But the first 2 or 3, I mean, there's some songs in it, but it's like they're really well made.
I'll have to go back
and,
and watch it. That's one
the
I haven't
first
seen in
one's
so
awesome.
many years.
Yeah, it's a really good movie, and it's really sad at the beginning because his mom dies,
Right.
and he's with his grandparents. So it's a really good movie. I like that one. I really liked The Iron Giant when I was a
Ooh,
kid.
that one's
I
so
loved
good.
that movie.
Oh yeah, I showed the kids that when they were younger.
I haven't shown that one to my daughter yet, but I think I will. And I love Space Jam. I don't know if you consider that
Yep.
animated because it's
We
kind of
watched
hybrid.
that one. We even watched the newer one. It wasn't any good.
No, the new one's awful. I
No, it
didn't
wasn't
like
any good. But we had to check it out.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
not a big LeBron fan, to be honest with you. So.
Well, it's not even that. We just wanted to get some nostalgia of like the cartoons and stuff. But I wasn't a fan. I didn't think that they did that one very well.
Yeah. I feel like it was like literally just how many things can we throw into the movie that's pop culture references, and it was like
Right.
that was the primary focus, and it was just almost the same movie as the original, but just not anywhere as near as good.
Yeah, the thing is that kids' attention spans are so low right now, which is funny because I saw something on like Instagram the other day.
That's why. It's TikTok and Instagram
Well,
and
no.
some of that stuff because it's like short form videos that's what they pay attention to.
Correct. So one of the things that they mentioned was like, they were like, yeah, I started showing my daughter or my kid the shows that I grew up with, like TV shows that I grew up with, like Barney, for instance. And the way shows were made when we were kids were a lot slower, and they weren't as much like I don't know how to explain it. There wasn't as much like in your face, like the colors,
The action,
and the action,
the bright colors.
and like trying to keep you entertained throughout the entire show. Like it wasn't as in your face as it is now. And
Yeah.
it's like, and in the video there was like a short like little reel or something, and they were like, it's not that we don't show them like Coco Melon or like whatever this new stuff is. We do a lot of the old stuff, and it's made them slow down and not really like get upset when TV gets turned off, or not like crave this source of like dopamine that they're getting out of these
Yeah.
like these shows nowadays. And I'm like, man, I wonder if that would have been a good idea when my kids were younger. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult now to show the old dog new tricks, but
Yeah.
not that they're like that old. They're 10 and 12, but still.
Yeah, my daughter's favorite cartoons, outside of Paw Patrol, she loves Paw Patrol, but she likes Scooby Doo. She likes
Like
the
old one?
old ones, yeah.
Okay.
And she also likes the movie with like Matthew Lillard. And all
Yeah.
that. She loves that. And then she likes Tom and Jerry. She loves Tom and Jerry.
Like
The old ones,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
And so they're
they've
super
redone
violent.
them, which is fine.
They're so violent. If you watch them, like they're beating the crap out of each other. and
I mean, there's a reason why they did Itchy and Scratchy in
exactly, yeah.
The Simpsons to
The Simpsons.
like make fun of it a little bit, but it's not far off from the
No.
original stuff.
Yeah, and she likes those, and she actually likes Hey Arnold.
Oh, okay.
And that one to me is like that. I love that show because everything about it, the animation's cool, the characters are great, the stories are good, the jazz music that's playing through the whole thing is
Yep.
awesome. And it's just a really good show.
Like I showed my son Rocket Power.
I loved Rocket Power
too
when I was
long
a kid.
ago. And
to me, it doesn't hold up as well.
It doesn't. Like, I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of it when I'm watching it, but he was enjoying it, and honestly, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
He's into like the skateboarding and stuff, so he thought the extreme sports was kind of cool, that aspect of it. But I need to see about showing them other cartoons that I watched when I was younger.
Hey Arnold's a good one.
We did a lot of like movies, like we watched like The Sandlot and like Page Master.
I like that movie. I haven't seen it in forever.
I'm trying to think of other films that like we watched, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. But like
I love that movie.
But these are like films that my kids are like of
Cameron
the age
go.
Yeah.
And of course the Bueller.
Right. So like I need to go back and do some of the cartoons just for nostalgic purposes.
I love the Deadpool scene at the end of the first one where it's making fun of Ferris Bueller at the end credit thing where it's like, "You're still here?"
Oh, at the end of the first Deadpool, yeah. I haven't. That's the only one I've seen. I didn't see the other ones.
The very ending is like literally verbatim almost the end scene of Ferris Bueller where he comes out in the robe. Yeah, he's like, "You're still here?"
Yeah. Oh,
go. And I liked him in Inspector Gadget. Go Gadget. Matthew Broderick. He was also Inspector Gadget.
Oh, the live action.
The live action.
He was. I do remember that. I liked that cartoon. I enjoyed too. I watched that one when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Every now and again. But so I always like to ask this, like, as far as favorite films go, because when it comes to like Disney is a common thing. Okay. Now I separate Disney and Disney Pixar.
Yeah.
I separate those two. So I'll tell you my favorite Disney and Disney Pixar films. My favorite Disney film is the Princess and the Frog.
It's a good one.
Specifically because of the jazz music.
Yeah,
so it makes
that's
me
a good
like
one.
When you said jazz, I need to listen to. I need to go back and watch Hey Arnold if the music's that good.
Yeah.
It's the music that makes me enjoy Princess and the Frog.
What's funny is on Hey Arnold, there's an episode where I think his name's Mr. Wynn. He talks like this, you know. He's like real. It was real weird.
Sounds similar to one of like Stimpy.
Well, no, not really. I just did it badly.
Okay, you just did it bad. Okay.
My name's Mr. Wynn. You know, it's like real, totally different voice. And then they have him sing.
Like the Asian neighbor.
Yeah, and they have him sing in one of the episodes, and it's literally Randy Travis as the singer. So his singing voice. I do remember his singing voice is Randy Travis, but
he pulls out a guitar
because it's hilarious. Because it just totally is the opposite of his normal voice. But it's so funny. There's a song on it called The Simple. Like the song that's in that whole thing is he sings. It's called The Simple Things, and it's hilarious.
I think I do remember this. Out of all things,
I've showed that one to my daughter, and she loves it.
That's awesome.
I'll play that song every now and again, and she hears it and she starts laughing.
That's great.
My daughter's favorite song right now is an Owl City song.
Oh, okay.
Called Dinosaur Park. And it's off the most recent album that just came out.
I only know
like a year
Fireflies.
So. Yeah, so I really like Owl City. And most people don't even know anything beyond Fireflies. But his songs are great.
It's just one guy, isn't it?
Yeah, his name's Adam Young, I think.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Super good.
Just one guy.
Yeah, but Dinosaur Park, it's literally about there's a park
listen to it. Jeez.
in South Dakota. And it's literally about it's a park in South Dakota where the it's like a huge there's a bunch of statues of dinosaurs, and he's talking about what if they come to life at night and what do they do, and then they turn back to stone, which is kind of similar to like the Night at the Museum kind of an idea. But it's such a good song, and my daughter loves it. And as soon as it starts playing, within a couple seconds, she's like, "Daddy, is this the dinosaur song?" And I'm like, "Yes, it is." Love it. She loves that song.
Does do you guys like to camp, but by chance?
No.
Even if you don't like camping, that's fine. You should.
No, a lot of people love camping. I'm like
the only reason why I mention it is because there's a park. There's a state park here. It's not too far away. It's in Glen Rose, which is like a little south of here. Mm-hmm. It's like a hour and a half, 2 hours from here, and it's a dinosaur state park.
Oh, okay. Well,
they've got like a real big statue by like the gift shop, and then they've got like if you go to the river, they've got prints in the river.
Oh, that's cool.
From when dinosaurs came.
There was
I mean, make a day out of it. It would be fun, even if you just go check it out during the day. I mean, if I'm gonna drive for 2 hours, I want to camp. That's me, but. Just checking it out is fun.
Yeah,
we did that. We did like
You ever go to Robbers Cave in Oklahoma?
No, where's that?
I think it's near
Robbers?
Wilburton or something. But it's Robbers Cave, like bank robbers.
Oh, okay. Is it a state park?
Yeah, and it's really cool. Like
I love that idea.
that place. So apparently the story is it's in Wilburton. Yeah, I was right.
Nice.
This was like a place where there was a lot of outlaws back in the day.
Yeah.
And there was caves and stuff, and they would hide out there. So they would be like robbing a bank, and then they'd hide out in these caves because it was hard for the law marshals and stuff to get way up in these mountains and area.
Right.
But they could get in there, and they could see them coming, and then they already knew all the trails, and they could get out another way.
Oh, that's cool.
So
I need to check that out. That
Pretty
sounds
crazy.
fun.
It was pretty cool. It's really fun. We used to go there all the time when I was a kid, like during the summer, and we'd stay. And they have like cabins and stuff, and it's really cool.
Sweet. That sounds like a blast. Actually,
I like
think
that.
my
I don't
son
like
would-
going and sleeping in a tent. I'd absolutely hate that.
Oh, okay.
My mom was like always loved going camping, and then my dad hated it.
Oh, really?
And so it was, and we didn't like it as kids, me
Yeah.
and my brother. So it was like we were miserable. We hated it. We didn't like. She would want to go in the middle of the summer.
So you
and
enjoyed
she loves
the
it.
outdoor part of it. It's the
Yeah, but
sleeping
not the
part.
sleeping, not the sleeping and sweating the whole time and
Yeah.
getting bit by mosquitoes the whole time. So like we had like this van, one of those big vans that had like a TV in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
And had like the back seat that would like recline totally back into a bed. And so like pretty much every time we would go camping, like an hour or so into sleeping, we would just get out, me and my brother, and we'd go get in the van, and we'd like sneak the keys and turn the van on all night with the AC on.
Yeah.
And we'd just sleep on that back thing, and it was so much better.
Yeah.
But it was miserable.
But there's cabins.
Yeah, cabins are
So
great.
cabin camp.
I can do that. I like going and hiking and going and doing the stuff like that. That's cool. It's fun. I enjoy it. But yeah, I don't like the sleeping.
Yeah. I've gotten to a point where I'll do a cot
Yeah.
where me and my son will go. Like my daughter hates it as well. But we will literally just pull up a cot, and we'll even put a pad on the cot so it's even more comfortable.
Yeah, I could do that.
Because I don't. But I do agree. If you go camp in the middle of the summer,
It's awful.
it's just miserable because it's so hot and you're
Yeah.
just sweating while you're sleeping. And I'm a hot sleeper anyway. So like I sweat like almost always when I sleep. It's weird.
Yeah, me too.
Like I'm just naturally hot when I sleep. But so I totally get that. That is a downfall. But I'll take that if it means to go see certain places.
Yeah,
sometimes.
I would love to do that. Like go and camp. I've thought about taking my daughter and going camping, but I would not do it during the summer at all. Like
No.
it would be miserable. I would probably go like
you'd have to go out of
March
town.
or where it's like spring or fall. Fall
Yeah, or
would probably be better.
Go north where it's not 100 degrees.
Yeah,
Like
I should go to that park that he's talking about in that song, the dinosaur park.
it's
It's in
an
Rapid
actual park.
City or something in Skyline Drive. He mentions all the stuff about it. Yeah, it's an actual place he's talking about because he likes to go there.
Is this in South Dakota?
South Dakota, Rapid
I've been
City.
to Rapid City, South Dakota, because it's near the Mount Rushmore, so you might as well check that out as well.
Yeah,
So I wonder.
it's called Dinosaur Park. Look up Dinosaur Park, Rapid City,
Hold on,
or Skyline Drive.
because we did this one year
Yeah.
where we went to multiple state parks.
Temporarily
Badlands.
closed.
This is Badlands State Park, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I've been to Badlands. We went to where did we go? Because there's like 3 national parks that are near each other.
yeah.
Because we did all 3 in one trip. Because
You probably like
were all
this
close
song
enough.
then, because it's really good. It's literally about
That's
how much
fun.
he loves going there, and all the things that he thinks about while he's there. I love Owl City stuff. He has some really good songs.
Like I'm trying to see because we did 3 in one summer because they were all close to each other. I went and stayed at my brother's house in Nebraska, and then we got up the next day and drove off. All of us did. It was awesome, actually. Badlands. I think this was the one that we went to. We went to Badlands. We went to some wind cave, I think is what it's called. That one was really cool because you get to see all the caves. Yeah, Wind Cave in South Dakota.
Okay.
And then there was another one. I forget what the other one was. But they're all fairly close. And then we hit Mount Rushmore up too because it was semi-close.
We went to.
We did that in like 4 or 5 days.
I think at one point we went to New Mexico, went on a family vacation. We used to go on a lot of family vacations, which was fun whenever I was a kid.
But it was always camping.
Not always. No, it was not always camping. We'd end up going and like sleep. I think there were so many things about camping I didn't like sleeping on the ground. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Because there was always, no matter where you were sleeping at, there was always, you'd be like, this looks like really softer ground compared to, and then you're sleeping on like a stump or something, or like
you're sleeping on twigs or
something.
Rocks
It's
or,
always off. But
always.
no, we used to go on a lot of family vacations. Like we went to Colorado one year. We went to New Mexico. I think it was in New Mexico. We went like all these caves, and it was like literally
cool.
like ginormous caves you're walking through, and they've got lights in them, and it's just really cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's similar to like Wind Cave National Park. It was awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to take my daughter to do stuff like that. Once my wife gets done with radiology, she graduates in May, which I'm super excited about.
That's going to be cool. She's going to school to be a radiology tech?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so she graduates here in a couple, like a month.
Sweet.
And once she does that, we'll be like bringing in twice the money. So it'll be like, because I can pay for everything off mine.
Right.
So once we did that, it's like everything she's making is just extra money.
It's gravy.
It's like we're going to go do stuff.
Yeah.
Next up, what she wants to do is like, we're going to go travel. We're going to go do some stuff. We're going to take like a vacation or two. We're going to line it up every year.
Nice.
And we're going to go do something fun.
Ride that gravy train, my man.
Yeah, we want to do some stuff with my daughter. That's our main thing, is like we want to go take my daughter to go do fun stuff.
To go
so
see
that she
stuff.
has these memories.
It's the experiences, man.
Yeah, because
that's what I've transitioned to, is like, it's not about these monetary things. It's about the experiences.
Yeah.
And as much as my daughter says, like, in the moment that she didn't like that stuff, we look back and she was like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
There was,
you may have hated it in the moment. But
there was little things on these vacations where it was like, oh, man, I probably hated it at the time. But, like, when I think back, like, it's like when we went to Colorado and got to go skiing. That was, like, the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And it was awful because me and my dad were horrible at skiing, and we were there for like a whole week, and it was like the first 4 days or 3 or 4 days we were awful. We were just falling, we were miserable.
Right.
But after that, like the last 2 or 3 days, we got decent at it, and it was like that was like, oh my god, this was so much fun.
Right.
Like I would love to go skiing again, but I'd probably be horrible again for the first 2 days.
Exactly.
And I'm probably not I'm probably not in the best shape to be doing that now and hurting myself.
Yeah, you'll be all right.
But no, some of those vacations, that's like the best memories that I have. So
For sure.
That's kind of why I want to do some of that stuff with my daughters, because like I know that she'll remember it,
Right.
and maybe not like right this moment, but in the next few years when she gets 5, 6, 7, you know,
Right.
Those
Right.
are years you
'cause,
remember stuff.
When I was a kid, our vacation was going to Six Flags.
We used to do a lot of that though.
That was really it. It was one time a year during the summer, and the whole family would go, and that's what my parents spent the decent amount of money on, which it's not cheap to go, especially if you have a bunch of people.
I went to Six Flags a couple of years ago, and it's like it's not the same as what I remember. Because when I was
you're not a kid, you don't go like hang out with the. Well, what do they call it? Toontown.
Yeah. Well, no, I still went in there. You can't ride the rides, but it's cool to go in there. But the thing is it's like there's the magic of it is not there. And what I mean by that is not just because I'm not a kid, but it's like there's not like they used to have live shows constantly. Like they'd have like a Looney Tunes show going on the big stage. They'd have characters all over the place. They would have. They had a lot of really cool like rides. Like I used to love, my favorite ride even as an adult was the Looney Tunes the cave ride where you were in the cave and the water log thing.
They don't have
it's not there anymore.
Yeah,
and I
with
think
the
that was
animatronics like shooting stuff at you.
Yeah, that was like my favorite. And then you know, so they don't do any of that now. The show we went and we watched the whole day. And it may have just been when we went, but there was no like Looney Tunes shows. I did see a couple Looney Tunes characters, which was funny because I went and I just walked up to him and started doing the voice.
Yeah.
And when, you know, they're not supposed to laugh or talk or anything, but you could hear them in the suit laughing.
Right.
Because they were like, oh, that's so good, you know.
Yeah.
And one of them, like, they were like doing like this to me, and like I'd get right next to him. They're like, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I wish they still did live shows. My uncle, he was like, he's really pushes one of the people that pushed me to do all the voice acting stuff at the beginning. And he was like, you, after we went and did that, and I did that for like 3 or 4 characters, and they were all loving it. And he was like, a couple weeks later, he's like, I connected on LinkedIn with somebody that works at Six Flags, or like is like one of the higher ups at Six Flags. You should send me a reel of you doing all of the Looney Tune characters and see if they want to use you for shows. Yes. And I was like, that would be fun if I'm just doing the voice.
Right.
I don't want to be up there every day.
You don't want to be the one dancing.
I don't want to do it live. I don't want to be standing there doing. I want it to be pre-recorded, so I don't have to be there. I don't want to drive in Arlington traffic every day. But it would be fun.
Yeah, if you did it. So like it helps that you have the online outlet now.
Yeah.
You can just do it virtually at home.
Yeah.
Did you have like a professional type
vocal
studio
booth? I have a
setup?
booth. Yeah, a vocal booth and like a studio thing. Yeah, it's
nice.
A big section of like my whole upstairs living room area. I have 2 window cutouts and then a big living room in the middle.
Yeah.
So it's like a hangout area. Then on one window cutout, I have my desk, my computer, all of that stuff. And then on the opposite side of the room, I have my vocal booth, which is good because it keeps the computer fans way away from the sound. So you're not hearing them. Right. And then I've got all of it soundproofed and everything. It's really cool.
Sweet.
It's pretty neat.
Nice. Well, man, I really appreciate you coming on the show again. This has been awesome. Everybody can find you. It's Korey Durham Voices.
Korey Durham Voices, yeah, on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
Sweet. I will link it all in the bio, so everybody needs to go check him out. Be on the lookout for what is maybe to come with Barney, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Keep your eyes open.
No idea.
So I appreciate everybody listening as always. Shout out to Guinness. This Harp Lager was awesome.
Yeah, it was good.
A little sweet, but not overly sweet. 4.5%. You really can't beat it.
Yeah, I like it. Actually, I really like it.
Pick it up. That was an awesome beer. But I appreciate everybody. Thank you, and we're out. We appreciate you guys tuning in for another episode of Dudes and Brews. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever platform you're on. We're on there. We have a YouTube channel, Dudes and Brews. We would love if you would subscribe there as well. If you are subscribed and you want to help us out just a little more, unsubscribe and resubscribe again. It sounds funny and stupid and kind of obnoxious, all of the subscribing and resubscribing and stuff, but it helps in these little algorithms games for like climbing the charts, because again, we are organic and we are where we are because of you guys.
Yeah, we really do appreciate your support. Shout us out. We really do love it when you guys interact with us, when you add us, mention us, put us on your stories, tag us, all that fun stuff, all the stuff the kids are doing. We like grabbing that stuff and we put it up for you guys. So we appreciate you so much. Keep having fun, drinking them brews, hanging with them dudes. Tune in next week for another episode of Dudes and Brews.